What's going on, my Alpha Futures family? We're back with another trader interview today. My name is Ben. I'm COO here at Alpha Futures. Who am I here with today?
Oh, my name is Daniel from USA.
Awesome, Daniel. Great to meet you. So Daniel just did about $7,000 in payouts with us this week, and he was nice enough to hop on to do this interview with me today. So Daniel, tell us a little bit more where you grew up, what you do for work, anything you're willing to share with us, kind of about your background, who you are.
Well, I was born in Cuba. I moved to the United States like around 10 years ago. Start trading around COVID, a little bit after COVID, around 2021, late 2022. Late 2020. And I discovered trading because of a friend, and he basically introduced me to literally what he was doing. He wasn't doing good at that time, but he was like, okay, we're gonna make this work. And my journey it was being pretty, normal, let's say. Been losing money for the first 2-3 years. Then after that, everything started to make a little bit more sense, to look for that consistency. And that's why we're here.
Awesome. So what did you start out with? Options, stocks? Did you jump right into futures?
It's always been futures. Within the process, we tend to change strategies. We look for other things because we think that is the strategy the problem, and most of the time it's us. And in my case, I think there was a period of time where I looked into options and sometimes forex as well. But most of the time, it was future.
Cool. And was that just because your friend introduced you to futures right away? That's a little unique, to be honest. People start with futures. Your friend was just trading futures himself, though. That's how you get introduced.
Yeah, he was trading futures. He was trading also forex, but most of the time futures. Okay. So he was looking at those few parts at the same time.
Nice. So when it comes to futures, was it always indexes for you? I know you just mentioned pairs there. Or were you trading currency futures? What's your asset of choice?
Oh, well, I always been trading either NASDAQ or S&P 500. Now, lately, the last 2 years, I've been only focused on NASDAQ most of the time. It's NASDAQ. Sometimes I took a trade on S&P 500, but it's just rare. When we first started, we were looking at NASDAQ as well. And sometimes, another pair like Euro USD, something like that. But my focus always was on futures. Like, the market was a little bit better for me. Really like the volatility that NASDAQ brings, and it's just I like it. Like I always say, it's like we build a relationship with the pair, and it's just like I don't know. It's like we have a relationship. It's just NASDAQ and I. I just see it that way.
I love that. You need to take time to learn the assets you're trading. So I agree. That's something a lot of traditional guys, the more I've got to meet and stuff, they actually, they're so involved in so many different tickers and stuff day to day. I feel like they're more widespread on just applying their strategy to a bunch of different assets. I think for most retail traders, though, it is important to learn the singular asset that you are trying to trade. So I personally agree. I think that's best for us normal people at home, retail traders, right? While the traditional guys kind of branch out more, which is definitely impressive in its own way. But I could never really focus or remain profitable with the more I branched out personally. So I was the same way, definitely.
And it's like you get every part moves differently. Like every part has its own volatility, and every part is different. So you gotta get used to that part. You gotta know how it moves. For example, every time I try to look for any other part, let's say gold, it just doesn't work out for me. It's different. I expect something different from the price action. And with Nasdaq, that's what I like. Like I said, we have like a relationship. It's just like I know how it moves. Even though sometimes it does crazy things, it used to repeat the same things.
Yeah, it's insane every day on NASDAQ lately, but it's not something we haven't seen before. You're right. I don't trade gold well either. Like I just do not trade gold well. Something I'm glad you brought up, though, is talking about currency pairs. That's something so many Forex traders just ignore. They think they can only trade CFDs. Forex just refers to an asset class, right? Like it's just foreign exchange. That's all it is. It doesn't mean it's only CFDs. So I'm really glad you brought up that, you are trading currency pairs on futures. I think a lot of beginner Forex traders don't realize you can do that on futures. And there's a lot of traders that actually prefer it, like yourself. So that's good to hear. I'm glad you mentioned that. So now walk me through kind of your prop firm journey. What brought you into props? Obviously started with futures right away, so I'm not sure how you found the prop firm space and eventually how you found us.
I started with Forex, so I was trading NASA, but it was on CFD, I think it is. I started way back when there was a few pro firms. There weren't a lot of pro firms by that time. Like I only remember my Forex funds, one of the oldest pro firms, FTMO, and I started with, I think it was my Forex fund. Of course, the first 1-2 years ended up blowing most of the accounts, never get to a payout. Then eventually I start to, seek for consistency. I jump into futures because of all the drama that is around, for pro firms. That's the main reason, because I mean, I didn't have any particular reason to move to future pro firms, but late 2023 or just around 2023, there was a lot of drama. A lot of pro firms were shutting down, and I was like, okay, I think future is a little bit more safe, so let me jump into future pro firms. And it's been great. I mean, I'm funded with a few pro firms. I really love Alpha Future. Like everything is simple. That's what I like. The fact that the rules are there, and there's no, hiding rules or something to overcomplicate your trade. This is what you gotta do. This is the money that you gotta make. This is the consistency rule, which I think is very good. The consistency rule for us, for the traders. This is what you gotta do. You follow that, you get paid. And I never got any issue with any pro firms when it comes to future pro firms. But yeah, even though my first payout, you always like remember the first payout from your your journey. It was with a Forex pro firms, with a those pro firms. I think it was founder engineer that one shut down, or surgery trader. I just don't remember. And even though you always like remember that one, I'm just like done with those pro firms, and I really love futures right now. Like the future industry is, in my opinion, everyone has its own opinion, is way better. Like everything is clear. There is a clear path to life, process that you can follow, and if you follow that, you will get into life, and that's something that I really like.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I'm obviously here because I feel the same way. We had similar journey though. Like I picked up, CFD props at first, and then found the futures ones, and I've never left the futures ones. Obviously, there's been some accessibility issues in the U.S. and stuff. But like you can trade on DX Trader with a lot of CFD prop firms. Does not interest me at all at this point. Like futures are where I am and where I'm gonna stay. I've been in futures strictly for about 2 years now, and I'll never look back. I definitely feel the same way. So yeah, walk me through a little bit more. What was your first futures prop firm you tried? How did you get led to us?
I think that the first one I try is either Top Step or Tick Trader. Okay.
Yeah.
And I start to love the process of just, for example, with Tick Trader, I did have a 20% consistency rule, and I saw how my journey, and I'm sorry, no, it was another pro firm. It was Tradify, the one I tried, the first I tried. Then with that consistency rule, I realized that was, I mean, a lot of people look at it the bad way, like the bad, they always like, okay, I cannot make a lot of money. But I mean, if you look for that consistency in your journey, I mean, your trading is going to get better. And once I realized that, am I getting better because of the consistency rule? So I start to look for more future pro firms to jump into that consistency, space. And then I tried Tick Trader and Top Step, everything went well. And I'm like, okay, I need to scale up. And I started looking for pro firms. I knew Alpha Capital as a great company, as a, Forex pro firm. Yeah. And I was like, these people is good. So let me try it out. And everything was great. Never had any issue. Payout was pretty fast, less than 24 hours. And that usually takes from 1 to 3 business days. And that one was really fast. I was literally impressed. I'm like, am I ready? Good? I'm like, okay, sounds good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some very strong firms out there. Like I've posted on Twitter and stuff. I've done over 6 figures with Top Step. Like I think they're great. Obviously, there's some things that we wanted to, kind of follow their footsteps in. And obviously we've added our own twist on our plans, on our rules, as you've experienced. I do think there's some rules that we've made tweaks to that I think makes our products stronger in some ways. But yeah, I do really love the futures industry. I do really love some of the other products out there too. Of course, I like our product best, but I do love some of the other products out there. And like you said, scalability. So what platform are you on? Ninja and Tradeabate, I'm assuming?
No, I'm trading. I just got it's a trade copier with I used to do it with Ninja Trader, but it was just a mess for me because I didn't have a copier that allowed me to copy too many accounts, and it was just crazy. I couldn't trade all my accounts at once, which is not that bad because you kind of don't put all the eggs in the same basket. But I did want something that allowed me to trade all my accounts. And then I found, I think it's Trey Sincere, I think it's called.
Trade Sinker, yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, and it's great. Like I trade on TradingView, only I just put my main account, every account follows. Don't have to worry about. Sometimes I usually don't trade overnight. When I say overnight, I'm saying like Asia session because I'm in the New York time. And sometimes I had to put alarms because sometimes I don't know what happened with Ninja Trader that sometimes I had issues with the orders and it just doesn't execute the order well. And with this platform, everything's been great because I mean I haven't had any issue, had all my accounts there, and just follow the plan.
Cool. Cool. Glad to hear that. You're welcome, Trade Sinker, for the shout out, but that's what Daniel's using here. That's good to hear because, a lot of time, I mean, Project X is releasing their APIs over the next few weeks, which is exciting. That's definitely my platform of choice. I do really love Project X just because of the risk tools and everything there. But a huge drawdown from them compared to Ninja was the scalability. So I am really happy to hear that, the Project X team is addressing that. And who knows, if it's not Trade Sinker, I'm sure it will be another company on the market that will give that same scalability to those traders too, which I'm definitely looking forward to. But yeah, shout out to Trade Sinker for that. So that's awesome. So on any given day, when you're saying all of your accounts, how many prop accounts do you copy into, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I have a few accounts. Well, I have a lot of accounts. I have around, I don't know, 25 accounts total between all the pro firms.
Yeah, that was going to be my kind of ballpark question, like, hey, 15, 20. And the main thing there is just risk management, right? So, because that's the thing. So many people get excited about the copy trading and stuff. I'm like, look, if people are ready for it, I generally encourage them to do it. Like I really,
not for everyone.
I generally encourage them to do it, but you have to understand every loss you take just got 20x the risk. And if people only think about the upside, they only think on the upside. But let's say, you spend on average, right, with activation fees and everything, let's say like $250 per account. You're talking about like a $2,000 lot if you're doing 20 accounts, talking about a $4,000 loss if you over leverage that one account. So while I would say, hey, it's very, very powerful, it's a great tool out there, and anybody that's been doing it a while, genuinely look into it. Those beginner traders, just don't get ahead of yourself with it. And, Daniel, we're talking about, we've both been trading for several years now. You've done, I'm sure very well prop payouts. You've done 7,000 with us alone. Just, I need people to be prepared that like, hey, one trade could be a $4,000 loss, even though it's,
Even a break-even trade.
Yeah.
The other day I was talking, I had a break-even day and it was like 200. I mean, it wasn't break-even. It was like a little bit more than around 0.5, percent, technically, or let's say. And it was like 300, and because of all the accounts, it was like 6,000. It was like, damn, because of the account. So, but when you add a loss, usually my risk is around $500, like 400, depending on the trade. Sometimes I reach less, no more than 500. And when I get a loss, it's what, almost 10K. Yeah. There are people, I mean, I don't look at it that way. I just look at it like my main account. As long as my main account is good, everything should be good. Right. Okay. And I don't have to look for those returns, big returns, because once you get too many accounts, once you get a lot of accounts, then you don't have to go look for just big trade or just those returns. You just gotta do it consistently, and you will have enough money to cover your needs.
Yep. And that's, so like you said at the beginning, was like, look, consistency rule is how you frame it. It can be frustrating to some traders, or it can get you in a habit that allows for you to scale the way you have. And that's obviously the latter. The way you've looked at it is probably why you've been able to scale to 20 accounts that is how, is getting so well adjusted to the consistency rule. And, you know, you're dealing with some firms that, like you said, are as tight as 20%. There's some out there 10 and 15. Obviously, we only operate with a 40 and 50% here.
40 pretty easy.
I would agree, right? But people still like to pick their bones with it and stuff. But you know, I do think it overall, for as far as forming habits go and stuff, it is a great thing for traders. No, I even personally struggle with like anything under 20%. Like I've tried it and I personally can't do it with my style. Just because I'm a trend trader. Like the last week has been great for me because we've got these massive moves down. I pretty much set my take profit and wait. Like my average trade is well over an hour. So, okay, I mean, with small little wins adding up, not exactly my style, right? Like I'm waiting for these big trend moves and set that take profit and come back 3 hours later for it. That is what I kind of look for. But that consistency rule, you know, no matter how tight it is, you're right. It really does allow traders to build habits that allow for you to scale, which I'm glad to hear you've done so well with.
And I told you my experience. I was talking to a friend, well, to the same friend, and we were like, I remember when, let's say mid last year, maybe May, July, I couldn't fund like myself. I couldn't get more than, let's say, I was around 800K like total capital funded. Like I had a mental barrier. I don't even know that I couldn't get over that. And once I jump into futures, once I meet the consistency rule, once I realized, okay, this could help me. I mean, I'm not gonna make a lot of money quick, but this could help me. Once I jump into future preference with that consistency rule, 30%, 35%, 20%, I just skyrocket. Like I went from those 800K total to almost 3 mil. And then that was crazy, like literally. And that literally changed my trading. And I was talking to some, you know, friends and like in a community. We were talking about, oh, how can we, you know, scale up? And I was like, bro, for myself, what it play out for me, what it worked for me is consistency. Because it doesn't make sense for me to overtrade, for example, when I know that next day I won't be able to recover that loss because I had a consistency that I have to follow. So it won't make any sense. So once I had one loss, then stop for the whole day and then come back tomorrow, because it doesn't make any sense that you took a few losses when tomorrow you have to follow the consistency, so you will make a lot of money to recover that losses. So yeah, it's just that simple. And even though for some people that's bad, that's something that they can. For me, it play out really well. At least with my strategy, it fixed pretty well.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because that's obviously, you know, part of the hope there is like this is supposed to develop good traders that we can scale onto live, which is really cool to hear. You're just kind of truly have the discipline to expect that of yourself too, because that's the thing most traders struggle with, right? They might be able to find a strategy that allows for them to adhere to a consistency rule really well, but it's having the discipline that you're talking about, being like, hey, it's okay, I come back tomorrow and I know the parameters I have to work within. So spoken like a true professional, Daniel. That's good stuff. Definitely keep that out, man. That's great. All right, I guess if you're willing, are you willing to share screen and kind of walk us through a little bit of your strategy? We don't have to give away any secret or anything here.
No, I don't have any secrets. I mean, I just try to keep it simple. A lot of people, when you post some trades on Instagram or X, they're like, "Oh, what do you do, bro?" It's simple. I mean, we just try to overcomplicate the trading. I mean, it's more about, in my opinion, it's more about psychology. It's more about how you react yourself what you do when you have that loss, and that literally, technical analysis is just, for myself, it's simple. I just don't try to overcomplicate. Let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yep. Yeah, out of here.
I think let me see if I can move it down here. Still, you see it, and then. Well, like I said, my strategy is pretty simple. Like, I don't try to overcomplicate anything. It's just basically liquidity and just going with the trend. Okay. So as long as I have most of the time frame aligned when it comes to one direction, I only just look for a liquidity grab and a change of structure. No, nothing more complicated. I have a few more parameters, but the main structure of the strategy is that. For example, let me see a trade that I took this week. This is one. We were bearish. Pretty much every single time frame was bearish. I took this trade. Let me just move a little bit. With what price literally did here was just took these highs, equal highs right there, then got a change of structure right here, just jump into the market, got the 2 to 1, 3 to 1, and get out. That's it. I had the same around here, this trade right here, which was pretty similar. Trap tap the price tapping to important area for me. That it was a thing of 4 hour and 1 hour fair value gap. Got a change structure after this liquidity swap, and then same thing. 3 to 1, 2 to 1, and got out. It's just as simple as that. Don't look for anything special. The simples, I mean, I try to keep the trading like simple. Don't try to overcomplicate. I'd rather focus on myself, on how I react to losses than either on technical analysis. This is a trade that I missed yesterday. I was talking to my friend. He literally we used the same strategy. He took that trade and I missed it yesterday. But again, it's the same thing. We had a 1 hour for value gap, price to liquidity from the high, couldn't close above. Then we got a change of structure there, and then a push. And of course, on top of that, the time frame has to be aligned. But well, we can see this market is just literally going down every single minute. And a lot of people get scared, but I mean, for myself, it's good because it's just I rather have this type of movement that just range. Sometimes when the market range is within a range, it does just kill me. I gotta step away for the week. Sometimes I don't even train a week. I just gotta play take just one random trade to just don't get my account closed because of the rules, and that's it. I don't trade when price is within a range. I don't usually trade.
Nice. Yeah, so like what I always look out for personally is weekly doji prints. I completely like them too. Which like obviously this weekly print, if you open it up on your screen, is a massive bar. That's what I mean. Like I'm a trend trader. Like for me, this has been a good week because obviously it was just a massive trend move. But like the weekly doji prints, like we had, that's probably over like I don't know, September-ish on the left side of your screen there, like some of those dojis, a little bit to the right of those. Yeah, like in there. Yep, those, or even to the right, or just like a slow climb up after.
Yeah, this one here.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm looking for. That I'm like, no thanks. Like does not play well for me at all. So I like that you brought up. It's a lot of it is recognizing what you don't trade well and avoiding it too. Because obviously, like I said, this week has kind of just been short, set your take profit, come back later. So I guess talk to me about your exits, right? Because I'm somebody that just like, I exit at whatever key levels I have marked up on the day. Are you strictly sticking to risk reward and that's where you exit? Or are you using levels, zones?
It will depend. The max I usually look for is a 3 to 1 or maybe 3.5, no more than that. Now, it will depend if we have an important key area below or above that my target. So I always like, let's say I'm at the 2 to 1, probably I will secure at least 1 to 1 or 0.5. Let's get price. Let's see. Well, in this case, we're pretty aggressive. We're going pretty aggressive to the downside. So I would probably let it run a little bit more, but I can't just let it run forever because of the consistency rule. So, and that's fine because that made me because of that, I'm not greedy, right? Yeah. I'm just know what I have to make, the max I can make, and that's it. And it will depend. Usually my target is at the 3 to 1 and just normal market conditions. Now I could let it go to 3.5, maybe 4, but that's rare. And I'm always securing. Like when we get to the 2 to 1, I'm like literally chasing price from them. Just doing trailing as stop loss, and sometimes play out, sometimes get me out to the 1 and then go to the 3 to 1. But it's just probabilities.
Yep. Cool. That's the reason I was asking, is because like I could tell the the lack of greed there that you have is like, this is where I exit. That's what I was curious about hearing your thoughts on, is because I could pick up on that just even our conversation. It was like you do a good job controlling greed. So that's why I wanted other traders to hear it too. So it does sound like you take that 3 to 1. Hey, that's enough for me. For me personally, I trail my stop on the 5, and that's why I really don't do well intraday drawdown, like at all. I can't, because I like to let my winners run and I just trail my stop loss. Like I usually have somewhat of an extreme take profit on the day. That's where I set my take profit. And then from there, I'm just trailing the position the whole time, which you can imagine, you know, with an intraday, because I only trail on the 5 minute or higher. So I give it about an hour breathing room. Intraday drawdown, you know what I mean? Like small movements come back and eat up all my drawdown.
Yes.
I like holding positions all day if I can. So that's why like intraday drawdown has never worked for me for that reason. So that's why I was curious to hear about you. Like you're somebody with, you know, those tighter consistencies and stuff. Maybe you could actually perform with it. It obviously is harder, but you know what I mean? Like your style might allow for it.
Well, for myself, it has to be another day. I just don't like it. The other day, I got funded with a pro firm because I was literally funded because of luck. Because I put the 2 trades I took or 3 trades I took, they went straight to the profit. All right, so I didn't have one, so that was great. But when it comes to, I passed the accounts, and then I was mad because I didn't lose any trade and I blew the account. I'm like, how is that even possible, right? Because most of the trade, I got like 3 or 4 trades in a row break even, right? And it's just like, bro, I'm not even losing the trades and I'm blowing the account, and it's just not for me. So I'd rather stay with end of the day than trailing intraday. Like that would kill me. Maybe in these market conditions, it may work out because I mean it's pretty aggressive. It's going pretty aggressive to the downside. But in normal conditions, and this is not always like this is just it's gonna be a few weeks or maybe a few days. We don't know. But then it's gonna get back to normal. At some point, it's gonna get back to normal. And I just look for consistency and just that it doesn't play out for me. I mean, I haven't tried. I haven't find a way to make money with those with intraday drawdown.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I almost encourage people like you get what you pay for, right? Like I'm sure you've noticed in the market and stuff, accounts with end of day drawdown are typically more expensive than the ones out there with intraday trail. Of course, there's a reason for that. You know, there's a reason for the intraday is way harder to pass, first of all, and way harder to actually get to payout on. And obviously some of those firms out there with intraday drawdown had some ridiculous rules on top of that too.
Yeah, on the top of that, they put more rules. So yeah.
Yep, you get what you pay for. And that's something that's odd, I think, in the futures market because there are so many really good traders. There's still so much of the market that only cares about eval price. And they're the ones that not ever getting payouts. You know, it's just true. Like if you look at the numbers and stuff, like our customer retention is insanely high because people, I don't want to say easier because trading's never easy, but they find more success with us as far as getting payouts and stuff because the rules are better. But they're willing to, you know what I mean, front the price up front for a more expensive eval and activation fee. But then they realize right away, like, oh, this is, again, I want to use the word easier because easy's never, trading's never easy, right? It's like, okay, there's not as many rules stacked against me as some of these other firms that are extremely cheap right off the bat. And that's something, obviously, I've been trading for years myself. That's what I wanted out of a product was like, charge me more, just get rid of all the BS rules. And yeah, that's exactly, you know, that's been our approach from the beginning was like, we don't care to be the cheapest, but we care to be like people say this is the best firm with the best rules. That's what we care about.
And the fact of keeping everything simple. Like trading has to be simple, in my opinion, right? And also profit needs to be simple. Like you tell me what I need to follow, but just don't overcomplicate things, right? Just tell me, oh, so you gotta do this. You cannot trade news within 4-minute windows or whatever it is, and you can do this. You cannot do this, and that, and then I will follow it and we'll get paid. Love it. But just do it simple. Don't high rules, and that's why I love alpha futures and so many other firms that are doing very well as well.
Yeah, hidden rules never cool. You won't find that here. So I guess talk to me a little bit about, like why alpha? What, I know you said it's simple, but what got you in the door with us? What has caused you to stay? What have you liked about your alpha experience? Just kind of walk me through that.
The thing is that I tried alpha before with the Forex pro firm. And since the beginning, I knew it was a good program because of everything. You jump into the chat, even the Discord, and you have a question, they're there. They're gonna help you. You had any issue that you may have, like with account, probably, I don't know, like credentials or something like that. I never had one, but they're always there 24/7. And that's something that, like, I don't want to say put it this way, but there's no bullshit around. Like, oh, let me see. No, they just get, oh, what's the problem? This one? Okay, let's get it fixed. They fix it in 1 hour or less, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and you're done. The thing is, I couldn't trade with you guys with Alpha Capital because there was a period of time where it stopped accepting USA traders. So that's why I couldn't trade anymore with you guys. And then I didn't even know that there was an alpha future. I saw it on Trade Center, I think Thinker, because they have like a little tab where you can see profit deals. I'm like, okay, this is the same alpha future. And I went, okay, yeah, it is. And then I jump into a plan so that you have end of the day, like we were talking, and like, okay, I had to. I mean, it's just one of the preference that you know that if you follow who you will get paid. So you don't have. I mean, I always said this to everyone that asks me. You have trading is already stressful. Like it's very hard, like you said before. So on top of that, you cannot put more stress just wondering if you're gonna get paid or if not. So try to choose those pro firms that you know by fact, by like for years that they've been doing good, they're paying, and if you follow the rule, you will get paid. So don't put more stress on yourself by just getting any cheap or any new pro firm that it may do well in the future, but you don't know that. So go for the ones that have some track, some record, and as long as since I saw, okay, this is the same alpha capital as a future, it's just the same. I'm gonna jump into it. And I think I have two accounts because I actually bought three accounts, but one of the accounts I didn't pass it, and just the trade didn't. I couldn't close it. The trade profit to pass the valuation, and it reversed. But now I'm gonna go for the 100K 150. I think it is, yeah, 150K again, so I can be max funded with you guys.
Nice. Awesome.
That's what I'm expected to do this month.
Cool. Congratulations. So, yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be some other firms that come into the market that I think people give them a fair chance, but you're right. Like, we obviously post payout proof. Our traders post their payout proof. More importantly, like people ask all the time, like, why don't we have a Discord bot that just like said when the the payouts are going? Look, we wouldn't do that, but like hypothetically, somebody could post whatever they want with a bot.
Yeah.
Right. But like we can't control traders actually coming forward and presenting their payout proof. That is way more valuable to us. And that's obviously why our Discord does it. And we encourage people to share their payouts because we want it coming from the traders. Like, hey, here's proof. We don't pay them anything. We don't give them anything when they post it. We just say thank you after they do it. That's really, really important to me. First of all, when I was still a consumer of Alpha, that's how they found me, was just as a consumer, was seeing people post their payouts and not some bot. That was really important to me. So that's obviously what got you in the door. But yeah, I guess tell me more about like, why have you stuck around though? Has it just been because of the rules? Support team, payouts, all the above? The only other there.
Yeah, I mean, like I can just everything is been great, but with alpha futures. Like I think, well, actually, I had a payout yesterday, and I was about to short. You see the trade that I just showed you that I was gonna take yesterday, 9 Asia, and I couldn't trade it because it didn't let me trade, and I contact support. Say, hey, I'm trying to place a trade. And he's like, okay, let me check. Few minutes later, I was able to trade. That's it. It was because of the payout. Okay, it was luck. The account was luck.
Yep.
And that was it. Okay, like pretty simple. Like just as simple as that. They respond within, I don't know, 5 minutes, and they fix it within minutes. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I went to sleep, but it was less than an hour. And it's just everything's great, bro. Like also, I really like the way that the Discord is like organized. Everything is there. Everybody's there talking, putting the payouts. Like what you said is important because you can get into a profile and you see, oh, this payout, that payout. But I mean, are those people really getting those payouts when there is a bot that is telling you that there is a payout? So I don't know. I may. I'm not saying it's not, but
I want to believe them.
I rather wait. I rather see those people, real traders, that you can actually go ahead and ask him on the Discord, hey, is this, is that real? And they will tell you, yeah, whatever. And it's just also transparency. I really love how at least Alpha Futures and Alpha Capital is doing things.
Cool. So glad to hear that. I guess a couple more, Dan. You already given me plenty of your time today. I appreciate it. Some kind of community favorites were just questions. First of all, in the past, right, if you could talk to a younger trader or even yourself, what would be like either 3 tips or just like one thing you wish you heard earlier in your trading career? If you could tell younger self something.
Okay, the first, get somebody, okay, when it comes to trading, get somebody that you already know that he's profitable. Like, you make sure that that person is really a trader, because there's a lot of people out there that they're just, I mean, they're not traders, they're just selling you a course. And make sure you find that person that has a strategy that's sweet, like that you like, that you feel good when you see that strategy, that fits your style, because everyone is different. You could feel better scalping, or you could do better at swing trading or as a day trader. So find that person and just stick to what he says. That's the only, I think, shortcut that you could take in trading. And stick to that strategy, follow that plan, and don't change the strategy. Like, don't, if you're not profitable for a week, it's probably because of you. And then focus on yourself. Like, get better habits. A lot of people say, "Oh, going to the gym is not gonna make you profitable." I agree with that, but the fact that you get discipline outside your trading, it will probably get you more discipline in the trading, right? Yeah. So that's the main 2 things that I will do if I will have to start again.
Awesome. Yeah, I learned that from actually, it was like a baseball coach that said it to me once, but it was like the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So you're right. Like, going to the gym, lifting weights isn't all of a sudden going to make you a good trader, but putting that discipline in your life could carry over to trading. More times, often than not, it actually does. So I definitely like that. The other community favorite is, do you remember what you spent your first payout on? And if you do, what was it?
I think I saved it. I'm pretty sure I saved it. I remember that payout. I will never forget that payout. Yep. It was a 10K payout. So I think I saved it. I'm like, because at that time I had a good job, so I wasn't impressed by the money. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna save it, because I knew that it would take time. I'm not ready yet, maybe. So I probably saved it. Didn't spend. I haven't actually. For me, it's really hard. It was really hard to spend money from payouts, but because it was extremely hard to make money, right, from trading. And I'm like, I'm not gonna spend that money. Nowadays, I'm a full-time trader, so I don't have any other option. But back then, yeah, I saved it. I'm pretty sure I saved it. The whole amount.
Cool. How long you been full-time trading for?
I think a year and a half.
Okay, cool. Nice. Good for you.
Almost 3 years now. Yeah.
Good for you. That's really exciting. Sweet. Daniel, I don't want to take any more of your time. You've been very generous already for giving your time to me as well as the community. Anybody yelling like Daniel is in our Discord. If you want to ask additional questions, don't go tagging him 100 times now, but he is in the Discord there. He's obviously an experienced trader. And knows his way around props in general too, with scalability and stuff. Definitely a helpful resource. Again, yeah. Don't go tagging him 100 times now. But Daniel, I appreciate it so much. Guys, make sure to give Daniel a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for us so you can see that next trader interview. But Daniel, if you got any closing comments, feel free. If not, man,
thank you. I just wanna, thank you for the interview. Thank you for everything. And thank you for the way you guys are doing on Alpha Futures.
Awesome. So glad you're happy, man. Great to have you. I'll catch you guys in the next video.